Mhm. Cool. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel again. Just before we get into the game, a couple of things this week. Sadly, we are going to be missing the lovely Finn next week, but we are going to be starting a new game. We're going to be starting off a Dungeons and Dragons game. We are still going to be playing Pulp Cthulhu, and what we'll be doing is we'll be doing alternating weeks of it. So next week we'll be doing D&D, and then I believe the following week it'll be called back to Call Cthulhu, and then it'll just kind of keep on that cycle for a while. We'd have some other stuff that we're maybe talking about behind the scenes, maybe introducing another game, but we'll kind of reveal more of that as it happens. And other than that, all the same usual stuff. Socials will be linked down below. Please do follow us on YouTube. Ian, over to you.
Okay, so last week we had an interesting adventure. The party eventually found their way into a serpent person base, found strange portals into other dimensions. Had a little incident with the Hatharang device. Eventually set the volcano off and made a run for it. So we've come to the end of the chapter, but before we get into the fun things like skill increases and that, Victor, can you make me a Constitution roll, please?
Extreme success.
An extreme success. That's great. So we're going to go around just before. I was just so I didn't forget that. We're going to start going around each years, and we're going to go through what skills you've succeeded in, and let's see if we can upgrade them. So we're going to start with you, Finn. So what skills have you succeeded in?
Dodge, firearms, spot hidden, throw, and survival.
Great. So let's start with the first one, and make me a. What rule are you going to make? Make me a roll against it.
Okay, can I dodge? I fail to dodge.
Excellent. So you gain a D10 for your dodge.
Nice. 9. Very
9.
nice.
Excellent. So what's your next skill?
Firearms, bada bing, bada boom with the big guns.
Excellent.
Ooh, extreme success.
Well, it doesn't go up within a success. So what's next on your list?
Next on the hit list, spot hidden.
Okay.
I forgot about this. You want to fail all these, don't you?
Yes, you do.
I managed to fail a 75 with an 87.
Excellent. So 1d10, please.
Spicy. Geez, another 9. It's looking good, folks.
Excellent. And next?
And my throw, because I managed to pass one of them, but failed when it counted. Oh, would you look at that? Another spectacular fail.
Excellent. And another d10.
Getting all the fails out the way early. I like it.
Yep. A nice 7 for that. And survival for my last one. Ooh, fairy dust. Happy with that. Yay, 10.
Excellent. So that's all
Survival.
your
Yeah.
skills. So can you roll? Well, you've all got 0 luck after last week. So can you roll 2d10 and add 10 to that for your luck?
Have you fixed this roller or something? You keep getting 9s or 10s.
Yeah, but if you remember, the last thing I did last session was fail my constitution roll, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna need it. A 2d10 plus what, Ian?
Plus 10.
2d10 plus 10.
24. Bad.
24 is pretty solid.
That is good. So you now have 24 luck. Well done.
Still gonna die though. Like if anything happens.
Okay, so next we're going to move on to Doc. What skills have you succeeded in?
I have dodge, firearms for my shotgun, first aid, a listen, an occult, a medicine, spot hidden, a throw, and both.
Excellent. So let's start with your first one.
So do dodge. Fail.
Brilliant. And you gain a d10 for that.
Imagine. Like, Doc, it's your spot hidden. It's 99, eh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't this just be the one that you rolled a 100 for spot hidden?
It can't go up anymore, unfortunately. Same with the medicine.
You start seeing through walls.
Yeah, I think you should allow it, Ian, if he gets 100.
So
Well,
that's a fail for my firearms as well.
Plus, you're
excellent.
saying that, no, my power's 150, keep in mind.
Yep, they
Yeah,
can go.
that-
They
that's
can go
that.
above 100, but it's through non-human abilities.
Okay, right, yeah. So, like, just me getting brain fucked, pretty much.
Nah, you just got old space body spray. Power.
It's a fail for my first aid, so that goes up. 7.
The amount of red in here is really unencouraging.
It's a good thing to do, right? We'll just let it happen then. Yeah.
So how much did that go up by?
My first aid went up by 7. I failed my listen roll, so that'll be going up by 3 now.
Excellent. And what's next?
The next one is medicine, but I'm already at 99 on that.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one.
Next one is occult. Is another fail.
Wow. So another D10.
Yeah.
I feel like the roller's going to try and balance itself out, and it's going to give us all passes like for ours.
It's 53 that goes up to. Spot hidden's already at 99, so the next one is throw. Fail.
Wow.
That's a D10.
Holy dang! Like
That's 3. That's every single one of them I failed here. My biology is already at 99, so I'll skip that and go to pharmacy.
Yep.
Another fail.
Excellent.
And goes up by 7. So it's at 67 now. And then, what was it? 2d10 plus 10 for luck?
Yep. 2D10 plus 10 for luck. Let's see how much you get.
27.
Excellent. Close to that magic number 30.
Yes.
So,
So
Cammy.
rolls so far, we've had 1 success.
Yeah, wait till I come along. This is when I just roll ones all over the board.
No, succeed them all. Everyone, come on.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what's going to happen. So it's me now, Ian.
Yep.
Right.
So what's your first skill?
I've succeeded on climb, dodge, firearms with the rifle, occult, spot hidden, throw, psychometry, pilot, and Nical.
Oh, excellent.
It's great.
Right. Let's do it.
So what are you going for
Yep.
first?
Hard success immediately on climb.
Oh, well.
Watch dodge. Oh no, it's a fail on dodge at least.
So a D10.
6.
Excellent. That always helps. Put your dodge up by 6.
Yep. Firearms. Oh, another hard success.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. Occult. Oh, I fail on occult. Interesting. 3. God, this is shite. Everyone's getting 10s and 9s and fail. Watch spot hidden. Success! Right on the money for 52.
Oh, gutting.
Oh, for God's sake.
This is not fair, man. This is that you fucked this for me, and this is bullying. 100%. Psychometry. Success!
Oh, no.
Failed the pilot roll.
Watch.
But I'll
Nical.
get decent.
Right, okay, I failed Nical, but I nearly passed it with a 13. Right, D10. 8.
8, well, that's good.
Oh, good. My really unused snake language. Great.
Hey, you need to get used to it when you're speaking to your future snake wife.
God, man. That was the worst ever. Watch. Francis will fail all of them, right? Bet any money.
Okay,
Go for
so
Francis.
Mark. Well, hang on, Cammy, before we move on.
Oh, yeah, the luck
2D10
thing,
plus 10 for luck.
Watch. 1, 2. 1 and a 2.
Ah,
6,
3 and a 2.
5. No, 6 and 5.
So 21 altogether.
Still the worst out of everyone so far.
So, Mark, let's see how you do.
So, charm.
With a
That's a
success.
success. Asshole. Dodge. It's a fail. D10. Four.
There's a D10 button in the character sheet, by the way, that you can just roll, just so you don't need to type it in.
I was rolling
Auto.
hard dice for a second there.
It's a fail.
Can I do mine again, Ian?
10.
Well done.
Oof.
Can I do mine again, Ian?
Fighting wrong.
That's good. Do you know what? Every group needs one fucking
It's a
common
fail.
like loser. Like clearly that is me.
Always.
Hot damn! He is hacking here. Hacks. That's 2 10s in a row, people.
I'm raging, by the way.
And guns.
Mal, get this dude. Nah, no way.
That's a fail.
It failed that by 1 point.
Single.
And a 9. Increased by 9.
I'm not playing, boys. That's it. I'm done.
It's a hard success. That's nothing in that one. Instead. Oh man, that's that. And then spot hidden. Oh,
Failed by 1 again.
Another.
Should you not have like a throw one as well? Because you were lobbing a lot of like dynamite and grenades about, and you succeeded a few of the throws.
no, I didn't.
Not
then
in,
he fucked
not
him.
in this
It was
champion.
I screwed up.
It was me that made all those throws with the grenades and dynamite.
Fair enough. I knew somebody got some.
And
I'm
now-
gonna roll another D10. Pay the money, I get 1.
So now 2d10 plus 10 for your luck.
26.
So 18 luck.
Everything taketh?
I must have used all the good rolls on getting the stat increase.
Okay. So now the better bit for you is sanity rewards for completing the chapter.
Yay.
Now, I've got to say, you definitely killed the serpent person who was imitating Shapiro. So each of you gain a D4 of sanity for that.
Gonna make a note yet and then just deal with it all at the end.
Wow.
Everybody got a 4 that rolled there. Hot sauce.
Wow.
So that is that max sanity or is that current sanity?
That's your
You
current
can't-
sanity. Your max sanity does not go up. It all never goes down. And you can't go above your max sanity. So,
You can.
no, you can't.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you said you can. I was like, what? How does that work?
Okay. So, I think he's
So that-
definitely destroyed the gates
Still
inside
need
this.
Mark still needs to release the 4.
No,
So,
I'm keeping all mine to the end, just rolling them all as one.
okay.
That particular point.
So you definitely destroyed the gates. So you all gain a d6 of sanity for destroying the gates in the serpent tip base. So that's not bad. We got a 2, a 2, and a 3. Now, this one's a bit. So, do you think you actually attempted to save the people in the quarantine zone?
Hell no.
Nah, fuck them. Let them burn.
Okay.
We did not do all we could to have saved
No,
people.
like,
We were more
dude,
concerned of our.
Hey, I kind of tried. I tried to make a vaccine and everything.
To
We were more
be
concerned about the
be
nuke.
fair, like to be fair, like we did go and try and kind of work out what the hell was going on. It wasn't our fault the volcano erupted and then melted everyone that was left on the island.
Well, it kind of was. You did set the half the round device off. But, so, do you think he's fleed rather than trying to save the people? I think he
No.
kind of did.
Well, here's the thing, right? where we kind of cut that off, we were in the base. I was going to try and get the people on the plane.
I wasn't.
No bullshit. I actually was.
Risky
I think
potential
we had a choice
exposure
in that
to
matter.
potential exposure to others at like
Okay, yeah, I feel like I would have been talked down quickly on this. Nah, they would have been left to melt.
you'd have been
See,
left behind. But
so, and if that's the case, you all lose a D8 of sanity.
Oh fuck! Watch, this is when I get the 8. This is when I get the 8. Bet any money, it's coming. 6.
It's okay. This doesn't give you a bout of madness. This one.
I mean, for what it's worth, I've just lost exactly what I put on.
Okay. Now, the last reward is you gain sanity equal to the largest creature you faced, which was the Dole. So, if you can all roll a d20 and regain that amount of sanity.
And
Lucky 13.
I am now 5 points off. 5 points off max sanity.
So, how is everybody's sanity looking at the moment?
I am
52 from
66.
87.
Sorry, what was
I
that,
am.
Mark?
I'm 52 from 87.
And what about you, Cammy?
I have 66 with a max sanity of 71.
And you, Finlay?
I've come out with more sanity than I started with. I've got 57 sanity.
same. I came out with more. I'm 53 out of 87.
Excellent.
So I'm the most sane out of everyone. Was that tell you?
I started with 49.
Yeah, the sanity's relevant to your starting position, so it doesn't make much difference. Yeah, but let's pick back up with the story then. So Stephen, Victor, and Francis are all on the plane, leaving North Borneo behind. These are all badly burnt. Your clothes are in tatter. These are severely injured, hanging on there with 1 or 2 health left. Is there anything you would like to do or discuss while you are heading back to New York? There's always the elephant in the room of the way Francis is currently looking.
Did
With
that
the
not fix itself?
Nope, he's
Nope.
still got a large overbite. He's got rather large claws. His knees aren't bent the wrong way at the moment. But he does have the overbite, a large in forehead, and large claws in his hands.
So just normal then. That's fine.
An improvement by the sounds of it.
It's weird. His character's a self-insert suddenly.
Um, you know, Joe, what I'll do, right? Who else is all on this plane? Is it just the 3 of us? Obviously, there's going to be a pilot, right? Which I'm assuming is not us, or am I the pilot?
Well, that's up to you. Do you think you would have, when you grabbed the first plane you came to, do you think you would have, after executing Captain Lancaster at the end of last session, do you think you would have taken a pilot with you, or do you think Stephen would have
Nah,
decided?
I think we would have commandeered our own plane, personally.
Yep.
Especially after that.
So you've got a very small
Stephen to
plane,
fly.
Stephen flying the plane back, heading towards New York. Anything you want to do?
I just suppose I'll turn to the group and when we land, like we're gonna need to keep you face hitting Francis in the nicest possible way, just until you get looked over. Don't want to go and scare anyone back home.
Playing Victor 7.
Hey. Yeah, it's fair.
Well, either way, at least we were lucky to get off that island. I mean, I'm pretty sure Knight said that he was from New York. Should we try and track down his family to let them know what happened?
What happens?
What do you mean?
Apart from him just disappearing, do we know what happened to him? Where he's gone?
Well, this is why I said I thought he'd disappeared, but Victor was the one that said he was vaporized by the heat. Unless I'm making that up, Victor.
No, that was my assumption based on how hot that shit was.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I
how
think
come he was vaporized but we survived?
see, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't get it. Either way, there might be a correct move, and when we get back to New York after we're kind of checked in, done whatever sort of coordination we need to do with Caduceus, that we try and maybe find someone that knows him, some family, but I'm not entirely sure, and then see if anyone's made any contact with him. Because one thing we will need to say is, let's just say that he did disappear, right? Because obviously we know that it's not completely out with the realm of ordinary for kind of weird things, magical things like that to happen. If he did vanish and he's just magically back in New York where he's from, he was exposed. Well, I say exposed in air quotes, but oh, by the way, I don't do this when I'm flying the plane. Like I'm clearly like holding on to the controls. I was just waiting and Ian going, right, that's it, roll pilot. But no, but no, considering that he was with us and also we have been vaccinated now, he might potentially have taken home some sort of virus as a carrier to New York. So we will need to get on top of it. Just a thought.
Well, we can provide the vaccine to Caduceus, and they can distribute it.
Yeah, I think it won't be needed. So I don't think anyone else got off that island, but you wouldn't really be surprised if any of the locals managed to find a way.
I don't think it was specifically an island we were on, was it? It was
No.
just.
It was North Borneo, the country.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but you've taken out a large chunk of it with a volcanic eruption. But
Well,
In a big fucking laser beam that just sliced through part of it.
but by the way, at least we made it. Well, we're going to need. Does anyone actually know where we're flying? That's a good point, actually. I mean, we've got the airport we left before, but do we need to go anywhere else in particular before we check down with them?
Not that I know of.
Right. Well, it'll be fun telling them what's happened, especially with Shapiro being gone. But anyway, let's see where we get to, and then I'll just stay silent the rest of the plane. I'll fly the plane.
okay,
I think I've done a wee bit of medical treatment when
You
we
did a
made it
bit.
back to the camp.
Yeah, you did.
I'd like to do a wee bit more for myself and Francis.
Okay. So if you'd like to roll medicine for me, she's now got time to spend trying to fix you up. These are badly burnt and in a lot of pain at the moment.
Hard success for myself. A regular success for.
Okay, so you want to roll 2d6. Well, 1d6 for each of you. So, Nate, you're back in your hotel room. You've noticed that your eyes are slightly yellow, the whites of your eyes. You're not feeling great. You've called for a doctor and some food. The food arrives about an hour later or so. The doctor arrives and he comes in and it's like, hey, sit down and we'll check you over. And he starts like opening your mouth and putting tongue suppressors in, looking in your eyes and your ears. And then he kind of like moves away. He's like, well, I think you may have hepatitis. Have you been out of the country recently?
Yes, I was out recently to see a man about a dog. That was well, I wouldn't think that would have got me by now.
He's
That's
like,
something latent.
definitely think it may be contagious hepatitis. It seems to be progressing quite aggressively. I think we may have to get you to hospital. We need to get you some treatment and things like that. And he kind of goes in his bag and pulls out like a mask and like thick rubber gloves and puts them on and puts the mask on. It's like, give me a minute. And he heads out the room, comes back about 5 minutes later, and he's like, okay, well, come with me, and we'll get you to hospital.
All right. Well, just give me. During those 5 minutes, I would have packed up my gear.
He's like, oh, okay, yes, well, definitely come with me, and he starts leading you through down the hotel corridor, down the stairs. You can notice that they're completely empty. There's no one in any of the corridors. As you head down to the lobby, there's no one in the lobby. As you head out the front door, like no one standing around. There's an ambulance sitting straight outside the front door. He's like, can you get in here, please?
Can I make a check to see if he's like bullshitting? Like hepatitis. Like, wait, is that infectious?
Well, he seems to think that you've got contagious hepatitis.
Hmm.
So you can make a check if you want to think, but yeah, definitely
Yeah,
seems.
can I like try insight him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Insight a
What?
skill on this?
Yeah.
It's,
It's called
it's,
psychology.
yeah, I was about to say psychology.
Psychology. Sorry, that's the D&D background there. Okay. Hot damn! Extreme.
Yep.
With my psychology roll of 2 out of 10.
Well,
Damn.
looking at him down, you definitely think he believes what he's saying, that you have some kind of form of contagious hepatitis. It seems that he seems extremely worried, but definitely thinks that it may be contagious hepatitis or something like that. But he is extremely worried. And he does seem to have cleared everybody out the way. He's like, hey, can you get into this ambulance, please?
Yeah, sure, not a problem. Here, boy. As Seamus follows me into the ambulance, I'll just throw down my duffel bag and clamber on in.
So as you clamber on in, the doors close behind you. Nobody seems to get in the back with you. Can you make my constitution roll?
Can you make your dog make a constitution roll, please?
No, my dog is an immutable god. He's a shiny golden boy. He cannot be touched by mere mortals. That's an extreme success for a constitution saving throw.
Great. You feel nauseous and you can feel like the tears running down your face and your nose is beginning to run slightly. And you reach up and touch it and it's slightly yellow on your fingertips. And so is it like so is your tears from your eyes. You can hear the doctor's voice from the front of the ambulance. He's like, now just relax. We'll definitely get you to hospital soon. But yes, just relax. Yeah, you'll be fine. Just relax.
I do not relax. And whenever you get told to relax, that is a bad sign.
And they start heading you off towards the hospital. The rest of these eventually arrive back in New York. You land back on the airfield that you left, private airfield just outside the city. Now, are you doing anything about Francis's appearance?
Yes, I was about to say something about one thing before that. Ian, how
Okay.
long was that flight?
About 8-9 hours.
Pick one.
Yeah, 9 hours or so.
9 hours, so I get 9 magic points.
Yep. And you
Awesome.
all regain 1 hit point.
Wow, that flight was as effective as Doc's medical treatment at minute. Cool. So yeah, just as we're kind of getting close with the plane, then, what is it we're going to do with Francis? Then, have we got some sort of like I don't know, a jacket or like a hood we can put over him so we can get him inside? Don't all answer me at once.
I have hazmat suits.
Yep. keep in mind, right? We're trying to like not draw attention. Getting off the fucking plane in hazmat suits is not going to be the look.
To be fair, I think at this point the hazmat suits are pretty much burnt out.
Yeah.
So you don't have any spare. Okay.
I don't think we returned to the.
No, you don't seem to. You don't have any equipment with you. This was just the first plane you could grab and get out.
Who's got the highest luck of all of us?
I've got
Only
20
know me.
I've got 27.
Right. Can Doc or what's up to you, Ian? Can one of us roll a luck roll to see if we've got something in the plane to actually cover him up since we just grabbed the plane?
Well, one you use could roll a disguise. What is disguise? Is a skill, isn't it? Remember correctly?
Yeah, disguises. Yeah.
So
I've got
one.
5.
Rip a shirt off.
Aye? Tiff,
What did you roll there? I can't even see what that is.
I have no idea.
You rolled a 22 against a 50.
Hard
Okay.
success.
You get a 50 in disguise?
The breakdown like that is when you press the purple dice rather than the green one.
All right, okay. Yes, I have disguise. Your point is?
So
Just to see, so curious thing to put your points into, maybe fair play you. It was fun.
It turns out he's currently wearing the disguise.
So with
So you've been pranked by the prank patrol.
looking through the plane, you find some British Army military uniforms. Seems to be a British military plane. You find some uniforms. You find like a cap, a big cap. You find like a mosquito net and things that you can hide your face with. Yeah, you think you might look a bit bizarre, but nobody'll see in detail what you look like. Now, on your flight back, are you going to try and like radio Caduceus or anything like that?
That's something I was going to say I was going to do. So just after I've had this conversation and if we're kind of getting closer proximity, I mean, I don't even know what frequency it would be on, but I'll just kind of keep trying any of the radio. Actually, there's a good point. Actually, the organization, or sorry, the army that we were with would have had ways of contacting Caduceus. So, is there any sort of like I don't know, like a journal or notepads around of radio frequencies where we would be able to contact them?
Give me an intelligence roll.
Success.
So, based on your briefing pack that you were given before you left, you do remember the frequency for Caduceus.
Cool.
And
No worries.
as you radio in, you get a gentleman called Gonzalez. He's like, "Hi, hey, Dr. Gonzalez. Hey, how can I help you?"
Hello. We are the group that was we are currently returning from North Borneo at the moment, and we were
oh, hey, how did things go? We heard there was a volcanic eruption.
yeah.
Is the situation contained?
It's contained because there's not much of it left. Look, but I think this is something that we need to cover in the debriefing. We're coming in. We're currently real. There's only 3 of us on this plane. Shapiro sadly lost his life. We are injured at the moment. And we think this needs to be covered more in the debriefing because things were a complete fucking mess out there.
Absolutely. You're coming into the airport you left from, yes?
Yes, we are indeed.
Yes. We'll have cars waiting for you. Do you need instant medical help?
Sorry, hold on a second. What was that, Victor?
If you're asking about Nate, ask them to track him down now and quarantine him as soon as they find him.
Yes,
And anyone he's been in touch with.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sorry, we actually met a gentleman out there called Nate Winters. That is your second name, Finn, isn't it? It's Winters, isn't it? Yeah. We met a man out there called Nate Winters. He strangely enough vanished from where we were. We are concerned he might be back in New York and he might have been exposed to the yellow virus. So if you could try and track him down, quarantine him and quarantine anyone he might have been in touch with because we don't know if he's infectious or not. And we currently do have a member of the team, Francis, who has experienced something a little bit strange. You'll realise when you see him, but he probably does need the most immediate attention in order to correct what's happened.
Absolutely, no
No
problem.
nonsense.
No problem. We'll have a medical team standing by. Nate Winters said, "Can you give me a description of him?"
Yeah. I'll perfectly describe Nate Winters.
He starts writing it down. You can hear the pen scribbling on the page. And he's like, "Excellent. Okay, we will have vehicles waiting for you. Any use infected?"
No, we've actually all been vaccinated. Victor was able to build a vaccine against it, and he has the instructions on how to replicate that. So that's something we will be passing back to you once we get there. So we are absolutely fine, and we have been
Perfect.
tested, and we are negative.
Perfect. Excellent. We will have cars waiting there.
Right, very good. Thank you very much.
And the radio
Out.
goes dead. And then eventually you arrive in their field outside New York. You get off the plane. You can see there's an ambulance standing by, a large stretch limo sitting there, and a gentleman gets out and he's like, North Borno team, great. Who requires medical help?
All of us.
All of us, but in particular Francis.
Okay, if you get in the ambulance, the rest of you get in the car. We'll head back to the Cadisa headquarters. So none of you are infected. Yes.
No, we're not infected.
So great. Okay. Great. We'll get you back to the headquarters as soon as possibly can. And you can. Gentleman jumps back in the car with you and heads off for New York. Nate, your ambulance eventually arrives at the local hospital. You're taken into a room. You see there's about 4 or 5 other people in the room. And the doctor comes up and he's like, so sir, what's your name?
Nate Winters,
And
Esquire.
he starts writing it down in the form. He's like, so when were you last out the country?
Oh, I was last out the country about a week ago.
And where were you?
Oh, it was a whirlwind tour of Africa, I believe. Don't know.
Africa.
There was a lot of brandy involved.
Okay. No problem. He starts writing down. He's like, have you been feeling nauseous or sick or anything?
A little bit. Not been feeling the great, as in not all that great.
And is there?
Bit.
And are you sure you're? Okay, and he leans forward, starts looking into your eyes with the eye thing that the doctors use. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But he starts looking into your eyes and he's like, yes, they seem very yellow. There has been no discharge?
Well, I could.
Because you're a fucking child, that's why.
Not any that I can remember off the top of my head, but I think just a bit of time and a bit of rest. I think I'll be all right.
Okay. Yes, great. Well, and he hands you a couple of tablets and he's like, take these. They'll make you a bit more comfortable. They're general antibiotics, so it should hopefully clear anything up that you've got. But
Is
we're-
there a
we'll-
label on these pills?
it's just 2 tablets he's got in his hand and he hands them to you.
I've just got them in my hand.
It's like, yes, great. Take these and I'll come back in a couple of hours. Just stay in that bed and we'll come back in a couple of hours to check on you. Hopefully, we'll see some improvement once you've taken them.
Sounds good, Doc.
Good, great. And he walks away. About an hour, maybe an hour and a half passes. You're sitting in the hospital bed. Do you take the tablets?
No, I'm going to have those stashed.
Okay. So after about an hour and a half, 3 men walk into the room. They're all wearing suits. And one of them turns around and he's like, Nate Winters?
Who's asking?
Are you Nate Winters?
Are you the mafia?
No.
You always have to ask.
He kind of steps a bit forward and he's like, I'm here from the Canisius Foundation.
Ah. So, you're aware of the situation in Borneo.
Yes. Very, very aware.
In that case, we should probably get me out of here. Yes, I'm that Nate Winters, and this is Seamus.
He's like, okay, follow me. He's like, can you walk?
Of course I can walk. I just grab my bags and follow the guys out.
So as you follow these three men out, one walks in front of you, two beside you. You notice that the hospital's strangely quiet. Every corridor that leads you down is empty. Eventually leads you out, and there's out the front door. There's a large black limo sitting there. It's like, get in.
Traveling in style. I like it.
Is Nate like getting into this limo with like one of those hospital gowns with his arse flapping out?
That is completely up to him.
No, I'm still in full gear. I never debunked because I'm still armed to the teeth at this point.
Okay.
So you just
So-
walked into a
I've got my
hospital with
rifle
a
back,
you walked
I've
into
got
a
my
hospital with
knives.
a fucking 2 rifles.
Bang bang. Hello, ladies. How you doing?
Okay.
Nah, they're in my rifle bag, so we're fine. Yeah, I get into the limo because I'm like, these guys. They said the critical thing. I'm going in.
So, one of the guys gets in the front driver's seat, the other one gets in the passenger seat, and this rather large, balding gentleman gets in the back beside you, and he sits in there and he's like, "Hey," he looks at you, he like looks really close at you, and he's like, "Stick your tongue out,"
Bah.
and he drops 2 drops onto your tongue, and it turns bright yellow. Your whole tongue. He looks at you, he's like, "Yeah, okay," and he chaps the window.
Yeah, okay, what? I can't see my tongue.
He chaps the window in front of between him and the driver. You can hear the tap tap tap, and the car picks up pace. It's flying through the streets of New York. Eventually pulls up outside of a large building. It's actually the second largest building in New York at this time. The Empire State Building will be finished not that long ago. It's like, come this way. He gets out and starts walking towards the building. Legion, you can see the
Okay.
I will
foyer.
follow.
There's a
There's a-
foyer with
Ian,
receptionist.
remind me for a second.
Yep.
What was yellow?
His tongue.
No, I mean, like, what did yellow mean for the test?
What's the name of the virus, Cameron?
Got the clap.
What?
What's the name of the
I, know,
virus?
I assumed it was infected, but I don't know what my head, and my part of my head went maybe it was red. I don't know, like red is bad.
Well, the virus was called the Yellow Death.
Yeah, I get that, mate. Right? Like, I'm just saying, like,
So why would you
I
assume his tongue being yellow?
I don't know. But do you know what? I thought it meant he had it, but I was like, just to double check. Right? Clearly, I'll not ask that question.
eating
again.
bananas.
Fine.
He's like, oh, I think the score's just died on me. Is that? No, yep. 1 second. What a fun point for Discord to die. Right in the middle.
And you're back.
So,
If these is fuck off, genuinely thought you just dropped out the call.
Just cancels the Twitch stream. That's it. Done for the night.
is that a Deadpool figurine? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nate, you're led into this foyer. There is no one in the foyer. You can see a reception desk. There is no one in this reception desk. At this reception desk, there is. It is like dead, and he walks to the elevators, and he's like, "Come this way."
I'll adjust my neckerchief to start covering my mouth because I'm assuming at this point, like, highly infectious. I just came from the Yell Death territory. I think I can put 2 and 2 together that I'm not in the best of states.
And he presses a button on the elevator, and the doors open, and he steps in. It's like, "Come on." And he puts his hand in his
Let's go, big
pocket.
man, let's rock.
He puts his hand in his pocket and pulls out like a big ring of keys. He starts looking for the keys, and eventually finds one, opens a panel on the wall underneath all the buttons, sticks a key in, twists it, and you can see two lights ignite under the key, and he presses basement 2, and you can feel the lift going down. Eventually, your head takes you into the corridor. Now, this corridor, it seems quite small. You can feel like the air conditioning, things being passed through, but you can also hear the noises of like animals in the distance. Echoing down the corridor, you can hear like monkeys, chimp making noises off in the distance. He's like, follow me.
Active one, aren't you?
Yep. And he leads down a corridor and eventually into what can only be described as a medical room, but with iron bars, almost like a prison cell turned into a medical room, into like almost a hospital ward.
Do I see any doctors in here?
Yeah, there's doctors moving around. They've got masks on and things like that. At this point, you feel like you're about to be sick. You can feel your neck pulsating. You put your hand up to your neck. You can feel your glands in your neck are swollen, large. You can feel almost like there's large, like almost apple in each side of your neck, and they're getting larger and larger. And you can see one of the doctors turn to him. He's like, "He's moving into stage 2. We need to get him sedated." And the guy turns to you and he's like, "Get on the bed."
Sure, I'm feeling kind of tired.
And
I put my gear bag down next to the bed and just kind of crawl onto it.
it's kind of puff out. You can almost see like almost the yellow dust coming out of your mouth. And one of the
Warm,
doc- one of the doctors walks over, sticks something in you, injects you, and your eyes begin to close. You feel yourself begin to fall asleep. Now,
Buy me a drink first.
can you make a con roll for me?
Beep, 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 beep. Fail.
Fail. So just as you're about passing out, you hear one of the doctors turn to the other one. It's like, eh, we can save him, but we need. The only way we can do it is hybridization. And then you're
Because
out,
he's using dog's blood.
out cold.
Come here, boy. Come here.
He's going to get himself a set of snake titties like you have.
Don't have snake titties, mate. Like,
No, it's gonna be one snake titty, one dog titty. We gotta
So-
go full hybrid.
House.
So
My
the rest
favorite
of you eventually arrive at the Caduceus building. You arrive at the front door, get out of the limos, and you head up. And it's surprisingly quiet. Seems to be no one around apart from one gentleman in overalls mopping the floor and cleaning everything down. And you head into the elevator, you head up to the 7th floor into the bill pit.
As we're passing the gate, you missed a bit there and keep walking.
The guy starts scrubbing at it furiously.
is this the same janitor from our original Call of Cthulhu game? Anyone
No,
here that remembers?
no,
Fucking
it's not.
still like as soon as I heard janitor mopping, I'm like, it's fucking him.
No, you've never seen this janitor before. But
You turn back and he's just got white eyes staring at you again.
you eventually head up to the 7th floor. You can see the bull pit. You can smell the tobacco smoke in the air. You can hear people shouting across the room. You can see the maps on the walls. And I think that may be a good point to take the break. What do you think?
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, works.
Go back in about 10 minutes?
Found me and I'm out cold. So that's kind of fun.
Well, they haven't found you
Yeah,
yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, see you in 10 minutes, folks.
Quickly before we go, is my laboratory on basement B2?
No, it's on B1.
I was hoping to get my hands on them.
We'll see what happens when you get to your laboratory, but we'll reach that after the break.
Cool.
Thanks.
See you in 10 minutes, folks. often when we are playing like some sort of role playing game, it always comes back to my penis size, be it my penis or my character's penis. Oh, hello, Ghost.
Sorry, we're back live again.
Are we?
Yeah. So the minute you started talking about your penis size, I went live.
Yeah.
Like a baby's arm
You're
holding
right.
an apple.
To be fair, I was not talking about for the chat. I was not talking about my own penis size. It's just that it always did.
He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. I'm a DM and when he's game, it's always about his penis.
Do you know what? I have been set up, right? This is fucked. And off my penis size and onto the game. Ian, take it away.
So, the three of you have just arrived in the bullpen. You're led along to a meeting room. And these are led in to the meeting room. After about 5 or 10 minutes, a gentleman comes in. He's wearing a lab coat and he's like, "Hi, Gonzalez, Dr. Gonzalez, how, it's nice to meet you. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to introduce myself. How do things go in North Borneo?
A little bit of a mess, if we're being perfectly honest. The soldier camp, there was a couple of soldiers that had been exposed to the virus, so that needed to be contained. Sadly, Shapiro was killed in action, by something we didn't expect. In all honesty, there was an infiltration of the Nakal over in Borneo, and Shapiro fell victim to that. And yeah, other than that, it was just a shambles. I mean, I don't know if one of the other boys want to summarise up a little bit more than me, but all we can say in the minimum is it was a mess, but it has been contained because the Haftarine device was detonated.
You deployed the Haftarine device, and
Well, in a way, we threw it through a portal to another dimension, and it detonated and fired part of it through to our side and destroyed it.
a portal
believe
into
that
another
we-
dimension?
Yes.
Yes. We
A
believe
port-
that's what activated the volcano.
Oh, okay. And he's sitting taking notes. He's like, so, what you say Shapiro fell in action? How did he actually die?
Well,
He was skinned alive and some snake person wore his skin.
yeah, I'm assuming that's what happened from this bone. It's his. See the
Mm.
teeth mark.
He's writing this down and he kindly takes bone notes and he's like, okay, yes, interesting. Yes, and he slides it to the side and he's like, around and he
Yeah.
looks at you, Francis, and he's like,
Sorry,
what the fuck?
Could I have that back, please?
He's like, yes, of course, yeah, he looks at you, Francis, he's like, what the fuck?
Hello.
Are you okay?
I feel absolutely fine. Apart from pissed off, annoyed, and really want to go home and go to my bed.
I think he's
Okay.
talking about the face.
Yeah.
The one only a mother could love.
What, yours?
Well, we asked you if you were okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Like, okay, yeah, yes, so, yeah, definitely, yeah. We found Nate Winters. Can you tell me
he's
about
alive.
him? Can you tell me about him?
Oh God, where to begin? Well, we basically on the flight over, it was a little bit bumpy. We were attacked by some winged bat creatures. Don't know what they were. Terrifying at the minimum. But in the ruckus, the Haftarine device actually fell out of the aircraft and landed in a part of Borneo. We then went to retrieve said Haftarine device, and we ran into a large sort of spider creature, like I can't even remember, like 10 feet tall, maybe 20. I really can't remember, but webbed up in like almost like a cocoon where the spider was Nate Winters. And after that, he stuck with us. He helped us out. He was a good resource. But after the Haftarine device was detonated in the heart of the volcano, he just disappeared. We were under the impression he'd either been vaporized from the heat, or there was some sort of magical essence at play, which maybe took him here, which now seems to be what actually happened.
So, this Nate Winters, you say he helped you out. How much does he know about the situation?
pretty much everything.
Everything.
Well, I mean,
With it,
everything
he
within
knows
reason.
they were there to stop a virus. He doesn't. I don't think he knows about snake people.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Well,
Not to the same extent.
I mean, he did help his fight Shapiro when all was going wrong.
Yeah, but she
But
turned into a giant blob.
yeah, true. So he has seen a fair amount out of the ordinary that a normal civilian should not see. We'll say.
So
But he doesn't know too much about this organization, only that we work for you. That's pretty much it.
okay. So what would be your recommendations each
Oh,
year?
I have some if I can jump in here.
Yes.
Nate has some sort of weird reaction to my serum that I've never seen before. He expelled it. This one had a symbiotic relationship with a tentacle monkey. He should get examined straight away. This one seems to be mutated in some sort of Moman, cannibal / Wendigo, and has no reaction for it. I assume a psychoanalysis would be suggested at first, and I'm going to get a fucking coffee because I've had enough of this shit. There's the formula for the vaccine and the test. Now leave me alone. I'm going to leave the room.
Okay, great. And it kind of leans over and presses a button, and he's like, "Eh." On like you can see he's an intercom device. He's like, "Eh, could you send or just send someone up, send someone from the medical team up, and the research team. We need one up here right away." He's like, can we get you guys anything? Victor seems to have left, but do you two want anything?
Making a nice warm bed.
Okay, well,
I would-
any chance we could maybe check to make sure you're okay? We'll need to check to make sure that you're definitely not infected. Got a couple of medical team coming up, and some of the research teams. But
We're not
definitely
infected. We've had the vaccine. We're fine.
See what I
Okay.
mean about pretending nothing's wrong? Just peek back in the door.
Okay, definitely. But can we get some of our medical team and our research team to have a check over you quickly, just to make sure everything's okay?
Take my fingernail on my right index finger and scratch it down his face softly.
It kind of cringes and moves back a bit, and he's like, "Well, definitely okay. Well, we can always leave that today. How about you come back tomorrow or such like, and we can maybe run some tests, see if we can get to the bottom of this."
Fine.
But definitely, if you
Ju-
want to
ju-
head home tonight, and that's fine, we can do that. But yeah, definitely we can. If you maybe come back tomorrow, we can maybe run some tests, make sure everything's okay. You're doing okay. We just want to make sure you're okay. You look a bit burnt up, both of you.
Oh, we were. We were in the volcano when it erupted.
Yeah. So
Well, we weren't there when it erupted. It was when the half-drone device went off, and then so we were in proximity to that device when it was detonated, and somehow made it out alive.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So absolutely, if you want to go home and have a nice rest, if you feel okay, that's fine. Yeah, definitely. But I'd like if you maybe come back tomorrow and we did some tests and just make sure everything's okay.
I'm happy to stay for tests now. In all honesty, I would rather just get it out of the way, since it's been a bit of an ordeal. So if I could just get a coffee, I'll happily stay for whatever sort of test you want to run.
It's like absolutely, absolutely, and he presses the intercom button. He's like, "Veronica, can you send us some coffees? Can you organize a car for Mr. Francis to get home? I think he wants to go home now and get a good night's rest before things. Definitely, if you could organize a car for him and bring in some coffee." Woman's like, "Yes, of course, sir. Be there in a minute." A couple minutes later, she walks in with a tray, a large jug of coffee. She's like, "Hey." She looks at you, Francis, and she's like, she kind of like shake. You can see all the cups in the tray shake. And she's like, eh, eh, there's coffee. So your car's waiting outside.
Thank
Eh,
you.
There's a coffee, sir. And she turns around and kind of like slowly walks back to the door without turning away from you and heads out the door. Now, at this point, Victor, I'm guessing you're heading down to your laboratory in the basement level.
If I pass the medical team on the way upstairs, I'm going to ask them to send somebody down to assist in treating my own wounds.
There's medical guys walking around the floor, and one of them guys like, yeah, definitely, yeah, we'll send someone down to help you out. In fact, I'm sure there's somebody down there, but yeah, we'll make sure there's someone there. And it's like, Gonzalez turns to you, Stephen's like, yeah, you want to come? You want to come with me? And we'll take you down for some tests. Just run some medical tests, make sure you're okay. Being approximated of a half-Durang device, we don't know if there's any major side effects, or anything like that. And Victor said something about a tentacle monkey.
For what it's worth, I'm okay now. I don't know if you're familiar with any such a creature called a Zog. But as Victor described it, they're an almost tentacle monkey with magical capabilities, and one sort of, but as Victor actually perfectly summed it up, formed an almost symbiotic relationship with me and gave me some arcane talents. But it has since left, and its presence has faded. So
Interesting.
that is fine. And is this going to cost me magic points if I just go and spark up one of those crystals?
Absolutely.
It is going to cost me magic points.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll just do it. Like, we're going to get plenty of rest anyway. When we're going to need them? Look, it is because I get one every hour, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah, so so I just roll a d8 there.
Yep.
5. So yeah, I'll just spend the 5 magic points, and you just see a kind of sort of swelling crystal sort of just form in my hand right in front of him.
And he's like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. Let's go and run some tests. And it takes you down, takes you to the elevator, pulls out a set of keys, unlocks a panel, puts the key and turns on. You can see 2 additional lights light up. Devices basement 1. Starts heading you down. Victor, you've got a key for these. As you put your key in the other elevator, only B1 lights up, and you head down. And you head to where the lab was shown. Francis, you head to your car and head home.
Yep.
Victor, you eventually arrive at your laboratory. The door's shut to the lab that you had been given. Are you going to do it? What are you going to do?
I'll spend the first little while treating my own wounds and that. The viral analyzers in my lab now, isn't it?
Well, as you go to open your lab door, you find that it's locked. And even once you've taken the key out and try and unlock the door, you can feel that there's something jamming the door. And one of the people in the corridor passing you, he's like, "Oh, hey, is it Victor? Yeah,
Yes.
yes, your friend."
Yes, I assume. So,
Eh,
Ivan, open the fucking door.
and you can hear like a table. You can hear the screeching of metal along a concrete floor, and the door opens up slightly, and you can see him popping his head out. And he's like, "Guys, like, yeah, he won't let anybody in." Eh, but yeah, said, yeah, there's been some strange noises coming out of there. Is everyone okay? He wouldn't let us in.
Well, we'll find out in a second. Ivan, step back, please.
You hear the doof, doof with the large feet as something steps back and the table's moved out of the way.
Oh,
Door.
enter the room.
As you enter the room, the door slams shut behind you, and Ivan's standing there. You can see he's kind of pale coloured, and he's looking at you. And he just stands
What?
there and stares at you.
What's wrong, Ivan?
And it kind of just points to a cupboard. And just points at it.
Okay. I'm going to take the shotgun that I've got hanging on my back.
Okay.
Make sure it's loaded. Hand it to Ivan. Yeah. Shoot anything that comes out of here if I tell you to. I'm going to walk over and open the cupboard.
Now, as you open the cupboard, you can see what looks like a serpent hand and an arm.
Hey, it's
And it,
Proxima.
and it leads up to a torso. Now, on this torso, there's a rather small head and a rather set of small feet. and legs sticking at the bottom of the torso. The legs are only about an inch, maybe 2 inches long, and the head's only about 2 inches in size, and it's hanging in this cupboard. And Ivy keeps pointing at it. You can see it, and it kind of goes. She can open the cupboard door.
Do you understand me?
And it kind of,
Your name is Proxima. Come out here.
and it kind of like waddles out, and it's like you can feel it waddling. You can see the feet are only like an inch, maybe two, in this full size human body. Kind of waddles on these two little feet.
Are you going to hurt me or my friend?
And Ivan kind of looks at you, and Ivan shakes his head. Kind of looks at you, points at it, points at him, and kind of like waves his arm.
What do I take from that? Like, did they know like each other?
No,
Or they just freaked out by it?
you kind of get the impression that the interaction you've seen previously between the two of them, when it was only a hand and an arm, they seemed to be friendly. They were arm wrestling and things like that. But yeah, it definitely looks like Ivan stopped anybody from entering this laboratory without
So
your
he's
say so.
protecting it.
Yeah. To a certain degree you could think that.
Okay, put the gun down, you idiot.
And he puts it
Yep.
down.
I'm gonna walk back to the door, open it, and see if somebody's out there.
Yep. So the same guy's standing there, and he's like, "Is everything okay?"
Yes, it's one of my experiments got out. Could you bring me 3 meals, please?
Oh, of course, yes. Your rather large friend there seems to eat quite a lot.
Oh, it's not just him; it's Proxima as well.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We'll have some food sent to you.
Uh,
Anything in particular?
Just lots of meat, maybe some raw chicken as well. Could you also get me a organic containment tank, like some sort of glass cylinder with a top and a bottom on it, some holes for breathing?
Oh yeah, definitely. We can organise that. You'll actually probably find something like that down in the storeroom. Just the end of the corridor.
Okay.
I'll go and organise the food. You'll find something like that in the storeroom. But yes, it's nice to meet you. I'll go and get that food organised. And he starts wandering away.
Ivan, keep the door shut until I come back. I'm gonna go down to the storeroom and find one of the things.
Yep. So you go down to the storeroom and you can see there's chemicals all over the wall, lots of bottles of different liquids, lots of different containers, storage containers, or specimen containers of all different sizes. You eventually find one that you think will suit your needs.
Uh,
Oh, the fun of the Stuttgart. Need to try and work out what this is doing. I'm going to change away from OBS and try and move to something other than see if that stops it happening. But so you find this storage container.
well, I assume there's some way for me to get it back to the lab, so I'll just take it back.
Yep, there's wheelie trolleys and things like that to move things around. So you eventually wheel it back to the lab. Ivan opens the door and lets you in. About 10 minutes later, you hear a knock on the door. You open the door and you can see a trolley with like sandwiches, some meats, a few bits of steak, and there's a full raw chicken on it.
Cool. I'll set out the meals and that for myself and Ivan, and then take the raw chicken and wave it in front of Proxima and see if it reacts.
It kind of waddles across and sits there with its mouth open.
I'll feed it part of the chicken and put the rest top of the tank and like push the table over so he can climb up and fall into the tank.
Okay. So yeah, without any effort, really it climbs up and it falls into this tank.
And then I'll secure it inside there.
Okay. And the whole time you can see Ivan's kind of like looking at it and kind of like, is it passing past Ivan? They kind of like just gently stroke each other as it passes. I
Oh,
stroked
that's
his
cool.
leg, now he strokes it, and it gets in the tank.
I'll watch it. Don't. Oh, can,
Oh,
I'll,
Cam.
I'll look at what's happening. Don't worry, Ivan. I won't hurt him. I just need to find out what he is.
Everyone looks at him, he's like, oh, hey, oh. And points at it and points at him. And kind of like shakes his two hands together.
Yes, you're friends, and you're kind of like brothers now that both of you have came about from my science. What you do with that is your business. But I do need samples from him and these, and I'll start preparing all the samples that I collected from Borneo.
Okay.
Shapiro's bones. I'm going to lay them out in a medical bed and keep an eye on them because I injected them with some of the serum as well.
Yep.
And I would like to use the viral analyzer to start working on more to do with the yellow death to see if I can actually come up with a proper cure for it rather than just a vaccine.
Okay, no problem. Well, while that's happening, Francis, you get in your car, takes you home. You eventually arrive back at your house. You can see there's a pile of mail just inside your door, general junk mail and things like that. Anything particular you're doing?
Getting some food and going to bed.
Okay. So you're sitting there and you're eating the food that you've got in your house, but it just doesn't seem to be filling you. It just it doesn't taste right. Like you may be having your favorite takeaway from the local like Italians or something like that, and it just doesn't taste right to you. But apart from that, the night passes without event. You wake up the next morning and it's a nice, beautiful day. You head off to the bathroom to relieve yourself in the morning. You look in the mirror and your jaw is decreased and back to normal. Eh, your forehead's no longer extended. And you look and you feel good. The skin that was badly burnt on your face and your arms all seems to have healed. Eh, it's a little bit tender, but it's nowhere near as burnt or as raw as it was yesterday.
Obviously, I'll get some breakfast. And I'll wait on my car coming to get me to take me back into Caduceus.
Okay.
Caduceus, even.
So, Stephen, you're taken down to one of the basement levels. You're led into a medical room. A young female doctor comes in. She's standing there. So, I'm going to take some blood. Okay. Uh, put this cream on your skin, and hopefully it'll stop the burns getting infected. But definitely take some blood. We'll run some tests in the blood. We'll make sure everything's clean, and we'll speak to you in a day or two. Uh, is there anything else I can do for you?
No, I think that should be absolutely fine. Thank you very much for the help.
No problem. Do you want me to organise your car? Take you anywhere?
If you could actually, that would actually be nice. I'm looking to get to the hospital where my wife is staying. If that would be possible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No problem. We will sort that out. Great. And she takes the blood and leaves. Now, Nate, you hours seem to have passed.
no, he's gone.
Oh, is
Yeah,
he gone?
sorry for me. My phone had an absolute meltdown. Like it just started overheating. More argument for getting a camera, which I will do. I promise.
Okay. So, Stephen, you get in the car and you head towards the hospital. You arrive in the hospital. You're led up to a private floor. Eh, you get led into a private room. You can see your wife's lying in the bed. She's grey. She looks exhausted. And she looks up. She's like, Stephen, Where have you been? You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've been a bit been around. Just been in North Borneo.
North
Just doing some
Borneo.
doing some work, helping get all this sorted for you.
Oh, 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 they're so nice here, Stephen. They're so nice.
That's good to hear. I brought you a gift. And I actually forgot to say this earlier, Ian. But you know when I used the magic points to create that crystal,
Mm-hmm.
like I wanted to actually sort of try and formalize it. I don't know, like just make an actual stone. Like
Okay.
if I could, if I can play it like that, and then just give that to her.
Right, well, give me a power roll in that case.
Cool. Uh, extreme success. Like considering it was at 13, I got sorry at 150, I got 13.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, you've managed to shape this into quite a nice, like almost diamond-esque shape, the traditional diamond shape, this pink crystal. And she's like, "Oh, Stephen, this is beautiful. It must have cost you a fortune."
Hmm. Um, you'd be surprised actually. I came across it on my travels. And it's the only one of its kind as well.
Oh, that's so nice, eh? Oh, Stephen, that's so nice to see you. Eh, oh. And at that point, one of the doctors comes in and he's like, "Hey, sir, could I maybe speak to you outside?"
Yeah, of course. And I'll just kind of tap Claire. I'll be right back, honey. And I'll walk outside.
He
Um,
walks outside.
everything okay, doctor?
And he shuts the door and he's like, "I'm really sorry to tell you this, but she's not got long left.
How long? How long are you projecting?
Best guess 2, maybe 3 weeks.
Is there nothing we can do, like at all?
Nothing we can do. The cancer's progressed too far. Eh, but she's got 2, maybe 3 weeks as far as we can tell."
Right. Uh, thank you. Please just continue to make her comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. We will do our best. Eh, of course, she has the best medical treatment we can supply. We'll make sure she's absolutely comfortable.
Thank you. What I'm going to do now, Ian, is I'm going to walk back into the room and approach Claire and go, listen, Claire, something's come up with work. I'm going to try and come back up and see you tomorrow. Just keep well. And I'll talk to you soon, okay?
She's like, "Oh, Stephen, hey, hey, when did you get here?"
I've been around. I've been in Borneo. Listen, look, I'm sorry, love. I really need to go. Okay, like I'll be back tomorrow. I promise. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, eh,
But,
it's nice to see you. Are you okay? You look like you're hurt.
I'm all right. Do you know? I mean, work's just been a little bit rough lately, but like we're getting there. Anyway, look, as I said, I'm really sorry. I really need to go. Um, I'll come see you soon. I'll give her a kiss in the head, turn and walk out. Just for the expediency of this, because obviously I think you want to cover something with Nate.
It's
What I'm
okay.
gonna do, what I'm gonna do is leave immediately and try and go to like some sort of. I was about to say shady library, right? Like, but I feel like, see, considering an arcane practitioner, like I would know places I can go in order to get information and stuff that might help with any arcane practice. And I want to just go and try and research anything I can about like life transference or anything like some like and to try and enhance my magical capability to save her. So
Definitely.
that's what
Now,
I'm gonna do the rest of my time.
can you roll me intelligence?
Mm-hmm. Success.
Okay. You do remember inside your bag you have a book, a a red leather book with no title on the cover. You only ever started reading it. You never got too deep into it, but it did talk about. It was a strange book. It was almost like a person dictating the book, as in almost like their life events, and it talks about a cult and or a group in Africa who extended their lives. Eh,
Oh yeah, I remember this. God, that's how long ago that was.
Yep. But you do have that. You do realize that you've got this book in your bag that you've looked into, but you've never really finished reading it. But you do remember that's there. That kind of pops straight into your head.
Mhm. Okay, well, knowing that, I will go with them. Go back to my home, and then research that as much as possible.
Okay. So as you spend time, as you head back home and you start reading through this book, it talks about this dark African cult or sect that it talks about that they extend their life. Some of them lived for hundreds of years. It talked about the fact, but it talked about them doing brutal cannibalism and such like to read to increase their lifespan. Now, if you roll me a Cthulhu Mythos,
I'm going to spend 1 point of luck and make that a success.
okay. So within the success, you realize if you start looking through this book and you start reading between the lines, it starts talking about how this whoever wrote the book, who's never named, joined in these cult rituals. And when you start looking at it, you'll probably need more time, but reading between the lines and things like that, there does seem to be some form of ritual in here that is used to extend life, but you definitely think you'll need to spend more time reading it. But there is something here. You think the next week, if you spend a week or maybe that on it, you'd maybe be able to find out what was underneath
Cool,
it.
good to know.
But Nate, you wake up, you're lying on a surgical bed in this concrete room. There's bars at one end, the corridor. You're lying in a surgical gown. You feel groggy, you feel tired, dehydrated, but you feel okay apart from that. It's almost like having a bad hangover.
Somebody get me a scotch and cigar.
You kind of hear a woman's voice saying, I'm sorry, sir, I can't get you that, but I have a sandwich and some orange juice for you. I hope that helps.
Uh, Bloody Mary, perhaps?
No, sir, sorry, you're not. I've been told not to give you any alcohol or anything like that. You can kind of hear a clink as
Yes.
a hatch opens in the bars and a tray's put through. And I was like, how are you feeling, sir?
Okay, clamber up it. Uh, a head that we've been run over by a steamroller.
It's probably just the anesthesia, sir. I'm sure you'll be okay in a couple of hours. Just get yourself something to eat and have a drink, and you'll be okay. There's a bit of a lag and a bit of a noise reduction with Nate. I'm sure we'll have one of these weeks with no noise.
Yeah, so I will tan the food and drink whatever juice containing the food tray in hand.
Great. Well, the woman leaves, and you're left alone in this room with a surgical bed. You can see you've got an IV drip in. Um, you're in a surgical gown with your arse hanging out. And make me a listen roll, if you don't mind.
A with the first fail, because I'm an absolute mad lad. Actually, no, I'll take the fail. I'll take the fail
Okay.
As my first one, I'm like, I don't think it's worth burning 11. I don't think it's worth burning over like just half my luck to hear
Well, I
one
think
thing.
yeah, you'd have to roll 33 luck. I don't think you have 33 luck.
Nope.
So as you're sitting there, you can actually hear some like strange. You can hear animals. It sounds almost like you can hear a tiger off in the distance somewhere, but you also hear a voice. It's like, hello? And you hear the same voice, but again, coming on, and it's like, hello? Is there someone there? Is there someone there? Hello? And it seems like the same voice overlapping on itself. It's like, hello? Is there someone there? Is there someone there? Hello? Hello? Help? Is there someone there? Hello?
I,
And you can.
I will attempt to like respond if I'm hearing this in my head. I'm like gonna like attempt to like think back to it, going, "Hello, you are coming through loud and clear. What is your name? Please identify."
You should kind of listen to this. It's the same voice, but there's 4, 5, maybe 6 copies of the same voice echoing down the corridor. You can just hear, hello, is there someone there? Help! Can you help me? Is there someone there? And over the top of that, there's, hello, can you help me? Is there someone there? Hello, help me? Is there someone there? And all these voices start overlapping each other. It's all the same voice, but it sounds almost like it's coming from multiple people.
I feel like wiggle a finger in my ear, going, "Right, you are gonna need to pipe down because this is getting nasty." As I'll take like the tray I was giving my food on, just kind of like clang it on the ground, like, okay, now everybody just like calm down, one voice at a time. What? Who's on the other end of this? As I would be speaking out loud, is that I feel that's a stronger method than just thinking. Just thinking didn't work.
Definitely, this seems to be echoing down the corridor, and you can hear, help, help, is there someone there? Please, please help me, help me, please, please help me.
But what's your name? Like, is it, speak to me. Speak to me properly. What is your name? Who are you? What
My,
are you?
my name is Rose. Rose, can you help me?
What? What? Repeat. I can't hear you properly.
My name's uh, my name's Rose. And you can hear just Rose, 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 Rose.
Rose. I hear you, Rose. I'm Nate. Where are you?
Uh, I don't know where I am, but don't know where I am. Don't know where I am. But can you can you can you help?
What do you see?
I'm in a room. There's bars. It's dark here.
Don't worry. I've got friends. We're going to come help you.
Please help me. Please, please help me. I don't. I, I'm so scared.
Don't worry. It's all going to be fine. I'm going to make everything okay. Don't you worry about it.
And you kind of hear a voice shouting, "Yeah, be quiet, be quiet. You be quiet." And a man walks in. He's like, and unlocks the gate and walks in. He's like, Mr. Winters. How are you feeling?
But I feel something stronger would perhaps be more beneficial.
Well, wait. You've been through quite a trauma. Eh, I'm sorry to tell you that. Sorry. Let me introduce myself. I'm Gonzal, Dr. Gonzalez. I'm really sorry, but you contracted the Yellow Death while you were in North Borneo.
Shit.
we had to take some extreme medical procedures to resolve the issue, but I'm happy to say that you're okay for now.
Hell yeah. Did the doc get me filled with serum again?
No, but take a bit more drastic measures, but I can say you're definitely okay.
Dog. The
Great.
dog. The dog.
Where's my dog?
Oh, oh yes, your dog, he's just down the corridor.
He donated spinal fluid.
Your dog's the one in the hole shouting the one's help.
Full Metal Alchemist style.
Your other kneecap.
He's just down the corridor. We've got him in. He was causing a bit of trouble. He didn't want to leave your side, but we have him in
Yeah, good boy.
we have him in a cage just down the corridor in the kennel. You're more than welcome to go and collect him. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah. Of interest, is there anybody, anything, and whatnot called Rose round?
Like, no, definitely not. You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Winters. It's okay. Don't worry about that.
You said don't worry about that. That's a thing. Therefore, you do have someone called Rose. What the fuck is Rose?
He looks up and he's like, well, let's discuss that later, but we need to fill you in on the situation, Mr. Winters. But
I'm
let's...
shit in my head if somebody talked to me called Rose. You've got about 3 seconds before you're getting a whole lot of this coming at you. And not a lot, and that's going to be bad for both of us. So, who in the what is Rose?
Rose... He's like, Rose is not in your head, sir. Right? She's down the corridor. Now, just worry, she's another patient. Don't worry.
And he's gone.
That's it, he's just given up.
It's been a sucky night for the disconnections, eh?
So, while that's going on, Francis, next morning, the car, just before the car arrives, you receive through your door, there's a letter slipped through your door.
Okay.
And it opens up and it's like, you don't write, you don't call. I begin to think we're not friends. Would you care to join me for a drink tonight? It says on it.
Apologies, I cut out there. I got as far as a Rose is blank, and that's where I cut off.
Sorry. Okay, that's fine. We'll get back to that in a second. Francis, you received this letter. It says, don't call, you don't write. Drinks tonight?
Does it say when and where?
Looking at it, you get the gist when you look at the paper and you can see the letterhead on the paper, things like that. It's your standard
Gentlemen's
drinking,
Club.
your standard gentleman's club. The letters there, and the right hand is a. Oh, sorry, I cannot remember his name.
Fair guy.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Oh, I honestly can't remember his name, but it's one of the Matthew guys that you've met previously. Just names went out of my head at the moment, and his name's signed at the bottom.
I'll be going drinking tonight.
And the car arrives. You can see the black limo pulls up outside your house.
I get in the car and say, "Caduceus, police."
Now you get in the car and you can see sitting. There's a driver in the car, but sitting in the passenger seat in the front of the car is probably the largest man you've ever seen in your life. I mean, even sitting down, he's actually got to bend his whole entire head forward in his car. You think that maybe standing up, he's probably about 8 foot tall and about 5, maybe 6 foot wide. Muscle beyond muscle. Suit, and it almost looks like he's been poured into this suit. The suit is so tight. You can see the buttons on the shirt straining. The jacket, you can see the seams are almost breaking on it. Bald head, and he just sits there and looks around at you, and turns back and looks out the window.
They may be expecting some trouble.
He just, the other guy's like, no, we're just out, picking you up. I hope you slept well last night, sir.
Yep.
Yes, off to the Caduceus building, Mr. Gonzalez said that you were coming in for some tests.
Yep.
He's like, don't mind Cannon, he doesn't speak much. But,
Well, like he needs to.
oh no, but definitely doesn't speak much at all. Nice guy, but he just doesn't speak much. Eventually, you're right back at the Caduceus building, and we'll quickly jump back to Nate to fill him in where he left. Nate, you can hear the fact he's like, Gonzalez says to you, oh, Rose is another patient. She's just down the corridor. You don't have to worry about that. She's just another patient.
How about, well, you said I'm clean, I'm fixed up. How about we take and pay her a visit?
Oh, I don't think she's ready for guests right now.
She seems rather distressed. It would put my mind at ease to know that she's in the best situation possible.
Oh, okay. And he starts
And
walking
considering
toward.
I'm in this point, it's best in our both interests to keep everyone happy. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Okay. And he starts walking down the corridor, and eventually arrive outside a bar, other medical room, and you look inside. You can see what can only be described as half-formed humans. Half her face is like sloping to one side. Like some of the one has like 2 arms, one has like almost a mix of hands. I need you to roll sanity for me. Just look at the scene. These half-formed humans. And the parts of the face that you can see are all the same, and it's a young woman.
Success.
Okay. Well, could you roll me a d4?
Just had to see Rose, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Big brother.
Just had to see Rose, asshole.
Okay. So you lose 4 points of sanity. You see these half-formed humanoids. Some have got their face almost looks like it's melting. Some look like they're almost a mix between people and serpents. And the other ones have multiple arms. Some almost have like a gelatinous body with a half a human face on it. But they're all talking in the same voice now, like, help, help me, please, please. I think that's a good place to stop for tonight.
Indeed. And I just lose my shit at freaky snake people. Oh boy.
So, well, on that note, for one, thank you everyone for coming along. Obviously, we will be back next week. Nate will not. But as a reminder, we'll be playing D&D for the first time, and that is a game we're looking to kind of keep rolling on. So do tune in. But
Yeah.
until next week, have a good week, and we'll see you later.
And Finn,
Bye. Easy.
I hope your wedding's amazing next week.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
You
Be
need
fantastic.
it.
Reservations, mate. It's all downhill from here.
Oh, you definitely.
On the twist of a roll.
Do you know what? First that gif of thingy with like the bottles and now this comment, mate. Like you're on thin ice.
Well, thank you all, and see you next week.